Pugh, that'll do it! That will do it! Pugh for Bournemouth! The roof of the Gold Sands is raised! Everyone here knows what that could mean to this football club.
Good morning. It is Saturday morning, and I'm sorry we're a little bit late there, trying to work out how to get the toast out the toaster and the pancakes out the frying pan and the bacon from under the grill so we can enjoy a match day breakfast with you this morning. I am Tiggs, as you should well know by now, and if you are new to the channel, thank you so much for joining in. But I'm not here alone today. I've got my friend with me, colleague, Cherries fan, Morgan Scott. How you doing, Morgan?
Yeah, very well, thanks, Tiggs. Looking forward to getting the Preston game out of the system and cracking on with the result today. I think it was obviously for me, I was going to slip up against Swansea today, and I thought we would have got the job done against Preston. But it's okay, as I said to Sam after the 3-4 on the show on Wednesday night. It's Thursday, 72 hours. Again, we've got to go again and find the momentum. We're getting into an international break. It's going to be a couple of weeks off. We want to go in with a positive result. So yeah, looking forward to today.
Yeah, fantastic. I am too. And Sam might be joining us a little bit later. But until then, let's see. Who have we got in the chat today? We've got a few people. We've got loads of people in here. We've got, there we go, Rob. Look at that. And we've got Chris. Morning, Chris. And we've got Liam. Morning, Cherries fans. Exactly, Liam. Well done. We've got... I've got loads of Liam and Chris and Rob. Fantastic. We've got Cameron. Good morning, Cameron. Daniel. Not seeing you for a while. Morning, Sammy. And loads more. Loads more. Loads of people in this morning. It's good to see, isn't it?
Yeah, really good to see... people up bright and early. I don't know about you, Tiggs, but it's good to come on here and do a little bit of a chat about some opinions and what people might think. I know we'll go on to it later in the show about the chase on 11. And then apart from that, then it's kind of just wait until it's time to go down to Dean Court and have a few drinks maybe for 4 and get into the ground about 2:30, 2:45. So yeah, looking forward to today.
I like the way you got your day all paced out, Morgan. Got your day all paced out. That's fantastic. Obviously there's been quite a lot going on recently, Morgan, and a few of the back of the net guys have been out doing other little bits and bobs. The big news that I know it's not really Bournemouth related anymore, but it sort of is and always will be, won't it? What's the big news this week, Morgan?
Well, Eddie Howe signed a 2-year contract at Newcastle United, and if anyone wants to check it out on YouTube, Neil, Jeff and Sam did a video yesterday for just over 45 minutes, which I thought was actually very, very good, and it just gave the Newcastle fans a bit of insight into what Eddie Howe's going to be like for when he does. Well, when he's your manager now, and he's a really great guy, and he'll work hard. And I think it's fair to Tiggs, everyone associated with AFC Bournemouth wishes him well.
Yeah, completely. And it is a really good video. If anyone gets the chance to, if you haven't already seen it, please go and do so. It's already cracked up quite a lot of views because of the Newcastle fans coming to watch it. But it goes through a lot of the myths, doesn't it, about Eddie and what I think a lot of people perceive him as a manager is not quite perhaps the truth as we see it.
Yeah, I think you've got to remember, I think there's a lot of factors to Eddie Howe. I think you've got the first factor that I'll mention, Tiggs, is the fact that he could be a 12, 13-hour day every single day. He loved his job wherever he works. I know Bournemouth was special to him and whatever, because it's a local side or whatever, but I think he won't change his approach. He'll be in there with Purchase and Tingle every single day. If they are his coaching staff, we're just speculating that that's going to happen at the moment, but I reckon he's going to go in every single day. He'll get there at 6 o'clock. He'll go and do a normal workout. He'll have his coffee. He'll get on with training. He'll be there for another 8 hours after that, because that's the type of guy he is, and he'll bring so much to the football club. And then And yeah, he's going to progress these players. He's done it to loads of our players, and I reckon and the Newcastle player. And obviously, I get to work with the likes of Callum Wilson again, which I'm sure he can't wait for. So, and the fact that he knows what Callum's about, that's going to help them. So, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So, Swansea today, Morgan. What are your early thoughts? What you're feeling in your tummy? Is this bounce back time, or is this the start of the great dip?
I would like it to be great bounce time. Being realistic, we're going to have to play much better than we did on Wednesday, and obviously we are because we lost. But I saw Swansea against Cardiff a few matches ago, and Swansea are a very, very good side. I know they're quite below us. I think they're in 10th or 11th. I'm not quite sure, but they were excellent against Cardiff. Cardiff are a good side, as we know, quite a physical side, and Swansea outplayed them in every single area of the pitch. So if we want to win, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but we need to be back on it from minute one. The last few games, we've been quite flat at times. Stoke, Reading, and against Preston, we started quite flat. I want the tempo from the first minute. And also, I'm not being funny, I think the fans need to be a little bit louder at Dean Court today. I don't know about you, Tiggs, but I thought on Wednesday night the atmosphere wasn't as good. And away from home, we've been excellent. You can just hear us. Against Reading, I think Chris Temple said it was the loudest that Bournemouth fans have ever been that he remembers. So we can get louder today at Dean Court, and there's no reason we shouldn't. We've got a lot more fans, 10,000. So we really should be on it, and hopefully that can put us over to another 3 points before this international break.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I think that's kind of the case for the majority of football clubs, isn't it? Like on a Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, a kickoff is never quite as loud as an evening kickoff, and away it's certainly louder than home for some reason. I think it's just the kind of the atmosphere, the excitement that generates going away somewhere, you know. But yeah, I do hear you saying. What I will say is, I think one thing that's really kind of spurred us on is actually the David Brooks chant on 7 minutes, because that brings everybody in together, doesn't it? And you know, it's wonderful when you've got a chant like that. And just while we're talking about chants, just got to say as well, if anyone's seen in Twitter this week, Nonny, who starts the back of that chart. So it'd be great if we could do a good Red Army, today for him. Make a lot of noise. That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. As you alluded to, Tiggs, the David Brooks on is so touching. I think the fact that obviously, you know, they're going to keep doing it at the moment, and I think it's such a for David and what he's going through. I think it really means a while to him. And also, could I just mention that the away fan? I haven't seen a single away fan not join in with it, so that's been really good to see. And also, I think Millwall and a few other clubs have put t-shirts on for their warm up when the new break within the first few weeks, and get well soon, David, with the number 7 on the back. So that was a lovely gesture as well. So fair play. But yeah, no, in terms of the fan, I wasn't trying to sound critical, but it's sometimes you've got to be a little bit louder at times to maybe get a result done. But obviously, it's not too much on the fans. It's obviously what the players do with their feet as well. So I think that's wrapped that up pretty nicely.
Yeah, let's hope so. Yeah, and as I say, lots of Red Armies today would be great as well. Let's see. So I think probably next thing then, Morgan, is probably to talk about Parker's presser today.
Yep.
Right, so obviously it wasn't today. I don't know why I said today, but Scott Parker did his regular press conference, and I know you've checked in on it like you always do for us, Morgan. Can you tell us what he said and what were the talking points that came out of that press conference?
Yeah, so it's quite an interesting one this week. Everyone wondered, when we were doing the last preview show on Wednesday morning, we were and ahhing about Jay-Z. Unfortunately, Jordan Zemura will miss today's game with against Swansea. The full-back still waiting to discover the intent of the injury. The full-back missed Wednesday's fixture with Preston North End after needing to be substitute in the away win against Reading last weekend. And he is struggling at the moment with an ankle injury. We are not fully aware of the full detail he's gone to see a specialist that he needs to see. And Scott Parker alluded to the fact that he will give us more details as soon as he knows more. He can't be precise on what the injury is at this second in time until he goes and sees the specialist, I think, early next week. Adam Smith, Smithy, the same. He won't be available. Things are progressing well. A bit slow with him, explained Parker. And also, but this is where it gets a little bit positive. Junior Spencer is back in training. Parker says Junior's back in training. Though he's been back the last couple of days, there's an option Junior may be available. But I'll have to make that call. He goes on to say how I see fit for Junior as well in that. And then he finishes the conference by going on to say, we have had a lot of games in a short period of time. There's an option there to freshen things up if I feel I need to do that. And I have a squad that's capable of doing that. And that's what Scott Parker said yesterday when he sat down and spoke to AFCB TV.
That's fantastic, Morgan. Thank you so much. And it's really interesting, isn't it, about he's talking about freshening it up. He's talking about having a squad that's able to do that. And I think this is the first time that I can remember, really, that we've had a squad where we feel like we can rotate a little bit, we can change things up a little bit, we can try different things. The only difference is for me now, Morgan, I don't know if you feel the same, but having the unbeaten run stopped, I feel a little bit less, what's the word? Willing to experiment. Well, no, just willing to experiment. I just feel a little bit kind of like, oh, should we be bringing Morgan Rogers in? Should we be doing, whereas before, I think when we were riding the crest of that wave and we were winning so much, I just felt like, oh yeah, just chuck him in and do this and do that. But now I feel a bit like, I'm not really sure which way he'll go today. And we'll probably do like a prediction later on, won't we, of who the starting 11 will be. But I'm not really sure. And everyone is talking about that left back position. Without going too much into it, Morgan, what do you think might happen there? Do you think a change of formation, or do you think we'll just slot someone in?
Well, it's a really interesting one, Tiggs. People, I seen you got options. Leif Davies apparently had a sickness bug in the week. That's why he didn't play. Obviously, that's the first kind of. I know he's been nowhere near Parker, and we only seen him play on the right, which is out of his position, but which wasn't fair to assess him on, really. So that could be an option, but I'm not sure if he's in Parker's thoughts. That's not to sound negative, but I just don't think he's quite up there with what Parker wants at the moment. You can move Kelly over to the left, but why would you muck up the partnership between Cahill and Lloyd? Maybe the only other option I think that he might do is Brady, if he's match fit. Robbie Brady can play that position. I'm not saying that he's going to, but we'll have to come on to it later in the show. The only other thing that he may potentially do is go to 3 at the back. Maybe bring Metz in with Cahill and Kelly, and then go win backs with Stacey and maybe someone like Anthony or something like that. But we'll allude to that later in the show. But that's just a little background of what I think might happen.
Excellent. Thank you, Morgan. And if you would like to pop on this morning and have a little chat with us at breakfast time, there's the link down there, AFCB podcast.com/take part. We'd love to have you on. I don't know, Morgan, if we're going to see Marky Masters. Now, I don't know if you know about this, Morgan, but clearly something went wrong with Marky Masters' time machine, and he actually went to the wrong period in time. Wait, what? Oh my goodness, this is so weird, Morgan. Just as I'm saying the name of the man, Marky Masters, what should happen? He does have magical powers. How did you possibly know that, Marky? That I was
because that's the way this mysterious world works, where I can pick up. You don't know this. All this weird stuff that happens, these sixth senses and everything else. By the way, can I just say that Back of the Net played an absolute blinder yesterday by the Eddie Howe video. So I can see that what it's meant is by looking on Twitter. So this channel is officially a trusted media channel, because you can see all the Newcastle fans that are using this now as a source. So all those Newcastle fans now, they're coming to watch this rubbish on a Saturday morning, are going to be, no!
Well, if they're sat there and they're tucking into their sausage watching this, then I'm happy, Marky. Oh, we could have told them anything, couldn't we? We could have told them anything. Why were we so truthful?
No, it's be truthful. Right, no, Tiggs, right? At Morgan. Right, everyone. we want Newcastle to go down, don't we? Can we?
Oh.
What do we feel? What do we feel? Because I do feel I'm the hurt girlfriend. I'm the hurt boyfriend. And it is like that. And I don't want him to do well. I don't want him to go up there and get the glory. It still hurts. I don't like he's going to be parading about on the telly now, showing off.
But Marky, you moved on first. You're with this Scott guy now, and you've had 2 other guys before this. Come on, you've got to let him go and be a free spirit.
It is a little bit like that, isn't it? Where we got to have a few rubbish dates before we start to get back in the saddle in loving life again. So you're right, it's like that. But you're still seeing your ex-partner out in public rubbing your nose in it. And I'm refreshing the blimmin' BBC app to tell me, and I know I'm going to see him smiling with his shirt, and he's going to be. He's got the
with his arm around Ryan Fraser.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Fraser, here we go. We're going to be loving life. Listen, that man is not going to be being able to walk into a Costa in Newcastle without getting absolutely mobbed. So in one way, you feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
But the other side, and you generally do, because I like living in Poole and seeing him in places when he obviously kind of went off the radar a little bit. Doing him in little coffee shops in the Red Roaster in Ashley Cross and places like that, just quietly sitting on his own. And we didn't pester him and nobody... To now is on a whole different level of fanaticism. Hence, things going bonkers yesterday with the channel and what was shared with the guys, to now the Geordie fans now coming to up with this. We are the media centre is back of the net. So anyhow, observations.
It's beautiful observations, Mark. It's fantastic. We love it on a Saturday morning. Lots of lovely comments about you and your breakfast baps. How you feeling about today, Mark? Tell me how you're feeling.
Right, and that's kind of you to ask, Tiggs. You said it, right? You said it 5 minutes ago by saying this gung ho approach. Yeah. Let's bring Mark on. Put Mark out. Mark Ondes on as centre back. Let's have a little bit of a play about. Let's see what's going on. To watching that, so Wednesday night, it was just boring. That first half was a boring game to watch. And I even I love the fact that the Preston North End fans were all spilling on the pitch. That was the only highlight of it. So as you said, we're a little bit, I'm a bit, not cagey, because the glass is always half full. But that kind of real, it doesn't matter because we've got it in the bag, isn't there anymore. So this thing you talk about, the left back and what's going to be happening there. And Mepham did a great job on Wednesday night. It's just the fact that, as you mentioned, Morgan, is it going to be, we haven't seen Brady play before, but we know he comes from pedigree, and Davis obviously wants his chance, so we might as well go back to Leeds. We're starting Saturday today. Morgan, Tig, do you feel a little bit more pensive? Morgan, do you? Do you feel as like, this is points galore again?
I'll say that I'm feeling less confident than when I started the show on Wednesday morning when I spoke about Preston North End. I think what you got to remember is Swansea have won back-to-back games. We have lost our final game. That might psychologically that might be quite tough for some of the players. Just to remember, it's the first game in the whole season. They're either going to bounce back, and from minute one they're going to be putting in the effort right through to 95, 96 minutes. If it goes that much into added time, I really hope it doesn't. Or Swansea are going to come with nothing to fear, and why wouldn't they? They won back-to-back games. They've seen a flip up. They probably analysed it over the last few days. So it's a really win-win, lose-lose situation. And I'll say this time and time again. You only win a football match if you give 110% for 95 minutes. 11 men fighting, and they all got to work as a team. If one of them doesn't, if they're off an A game, that's fine. You're not always going to have the best game. But if you don't play your best football for 95 minutes or so, you don't win the game. And it's as simple as that, to be fair.
Tactics, eh?
Yeah, that was a very articulate, beautifully said answer. We were all enthralled by that. Thank you, Morgan. Got Go on, Marky. You did your finger point then. I know what that means. You've got something on the tip of your tongue.
It's like Zoom. It's like Zoom etiquette, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? We're pressing the. Can I speak? But yeah, you're right, Morgan. You kind of nailed it there. I guess it comes back to a reset to say, we've done it, we've lost. It wasn't a very good game to watch on Wednesday evening, but that's okay, because then if we can address this again this afternoon, and knowing that, okay, Swansea, you've got a good squad, and players like Jamie Patterson are doing really well since they come from Bristol City on a free. They're starting to play really well, but then so can we. So this one little blip does not necessarily mean, all right, it was crazy, wasn't it, seeing that Fulham result when we all come out the ground on Wednesday night. But we'll let them have that. And I think today is that reset, isn't it? So it's that well, let's get back on with it. Let's address all this stuff. Let's know what we can do when we talk about the crowd as well. And can the crowd react to this? And can everyone get behind it? And again, it's another emotive game. You mentioned it with Noni as well. It's this season's become a very emotional season, isn't it? We're not that far into it, and it's something about this season, and it's all part and parcel of why we follow the football club and everything else, and which is why this is good. These little peaks and troughs, isn't it? Rather than be like, yeah, we did Preston 4-0 in the cup, and now we're saying, no, we lost.
Yeah, that's really now, Mark, I don't want to embarrass you. I don't want to embarrass you in front of the onlookers here, but we've got to talk about it, Marky Masters. We've got to talk about what happened with your time machine. Now, did you plot the wrong date in again? Did you go too many years into the future, or what's happened there?
If I can explain, Tiggs, if I can get this,
get the monkey off your back, buddy.
However you judge, watching at home and everything else. You're right. The coordinates are in the wrong place. I went to a wrong. I'm blimmin' sorry, everybody, because I went to because here's my other thing. I've got to share with you as well. I went to the wrong season with Preston because I got it all in the wrong head, because it was next season's game against Preston, because then I realised my other kicker. See, Morgan gets it now. It was next season, because then my thing to say. Look, Preston have got 3 more seasons in the Championship. Preston have got 3 more seasons in the Championship. Autumn, winter, and spring. There we go.
Hey.
There it is. Wrong year. I'm sorry, guys.
That's all right. Did we beat them in the FA Cup final, Marky? I can't remember.
It was very good. It was a fox up front starting with Brett Pittman. So
an animal up the pitch, and yeah, brilliant. That's good. So, Marky, I know that you would have done this morning. I know you probably would have double checked your coordinates this time. You put all the numbers in, all the data into your wonderful time machine. Tell me, where did it take you, and what was it like?
Let's give this one a little go. So we went to it. We got back. We all enjoyed it, didn't we? When we all got back home tonight and had our takeaway and everything else, like we would all do on our Saturday evening. This was an entertaining game, boys and girls. And I tell you why. Because we did it 2-0! We did it 2-0, everybody!
Yes! Marky Masters, thank you so much for coming on this morning. 2-0 from Marky Masters.
Have a good everybody!
We will see you soon, buddy. See you soon. And from one a beautiful man to another, I've got to bring him back in, and he can tell us about his fantastic week.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Do you want to do a little swap?
No, it's fine. I'm happy with that, mate. I'm happy with that. You know what, mate? Had a disaster of a morning. I completely overslept. Well done for doing what you're doing this morning. Tell you what, flying the flag really, really well. It's been a good show. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been going okay, isn't it, Morgan? We managed to sort of pull our way through it, and we've done a few things already, Sam. So we did some hellos, and we did Parker Presser, and we've had Marky Masters on.
What a true legend. Can I let you into a little secret?
Yeah, go on.
So basically, last night, this happened, right? Me and Steve were at the evening at Dean Court with Ted McDougall, Willow,
yeah.
Keith Williams, Mel Machin was there, the class of 70-71.
Neil
Oh
Vashon,
my God.
of things.
Yeah, Neil Vashon. What an evening it was. Had such an incredible evening at Dean Court. Really nice. And we basically stayed there until we were kicked out, and we were just having drinks with those guys. It was so nice, mate. It was so nice. And even though that was not my era, oh my God, had such a lovely time, right? Ted McDougall recognised me, and this is like, what?
Oh.
That's absolutely bizarre. I was like, oh yeah, Sam, I know you from back in the net. What a lovely guy, and I've only chatted to him like in online streams, but so nice. We're chatting to Willow and stuff about his commentary, and yeah, really good, mate. And feeling a little bit apprehensive about the game today, I've got to say.
Oh, mate, are you really?
I am, yeah.
Did last night not kind of fill you with optimism being around those legends and stuff? Did that not kind of give you a good vibe?
I'm a little bit nervous, basically, on the fact that Swansea have won 4 in their last 5, and I thought that out of the 2 games between Swansea and Preston, Swansea were going to be the ones that would cause us most problems. So today is going to be absolutely. Well, it's a huge game. It's a huge game. And Tiggs, am I allowed to speak to one of our opposition?
Oh, mate, I'd love to hear that.
So, yeah, we spoke to Marley from FCFC Fan Vlog. So let's hear his view now, eh? Great YouTuber. Make sure you check it out. We'll pop the link in the description below. And also, if you're watching on repeat, you can also click the card. But this is his view on today's game.
All right, so hello to everyone over at the Back of the Net YouTube channel. My name is Marley. I've recently been on a channel before, so thank you to Sam for letting me back on the channel. It's a really big privilege, and I'm looking forward to coming down to Bournemouth tomorrow and hopefully cheer on the mighty Swans, get the 3 points. So, what's it called? Right, so our recent form, it's been all right. We've only lost 1 out of the last 5 games, beating the likes of Cardiff. Obviously, that was a sweet one. West Brom and Peterborough and Coventry. I went to all those games, and I thoroughly enjoyed them. But yeah, our recent form's not been looking too bad. Bournemouth, obviously, unfortunately for you guys, your winning streak has come to an end. So obviously, there's always time to bounce back, but let's not hope tomorrow is the day you bounce back. So a key place for us probably would be top man, JP Squed, Joel Pro and Jamie Patterson and Olivier and Cham. Those are the 3 who'll probably start top tomorrow. Our most physical player, Flynn Downs, as well. If he starts, that's one to look out for. Our backline's been alright recently. Ethan Laird as well, our right back. He's been good. So I'm looking forward to the trip down to Bournemouth tomorrow, as I've never been. But my score prediction, it's going to probably be... I'm going to go optimistic and say 2-1 to the Swans. I know you lot are going to disagree with me, but scorers for me, I'd probably go with... let's go... For you lot, it's got to be Jamal, though. I'm sorry, it has to be. And I reckon, for us, Joel Perot, Jamie Patterson. So... yeah, I'm really looking forward to coming down to meet you guys tomorrow. I think I will be featured on the channel if I have enough time. So please make sure to like button, subscribe to post notifications. And yeah, I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Stay tuned for my vlog. Most importantly, stay tuned for Sam's vlog as well. So yeah, cheers for having me on again, guys. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.
Lovely chap.
Yeah, really nice lad, Marley. Superb. Yeah, Marley's been on the channel before, and he's a very enthusiastic Swansea fan. And Yeah, he's got his own channel, so make sure you subscribe to Marley SCFC Vlogs. Superb. And you know what, mate? Swansea. I mean, how much have you talked about the opposition so far?
Not really much at all. Morgan did a little bit at the beginning, didn't you, Morgan? Because he gave us a beautiful insight into watching a game between Swansea and Cardiff, and how he said that Swansea were looking really strong. But we sent some interesting comments as well in our comments around about how actually this game's going to be quite different to the Preston game. So how the lineup, we're not necessarily going to be facing a back five. But apart from that, not a lot, Sam. Is there anything that you wanted to impart?
I'll tell you what. Well, Swansea might have a back line as good. Like this is so like me. Like, oh, I've just dropped a name. Just saw this guy last night, mate.
Oh,
mate. Oh my God, this is such a lovely guy. He's not in the best of health at the moment, I've got to say. However, Mel Machin, what an honour to even be in the same room as him last night. He was one of the people that were there. And you know what? Like, I'm rarely a selfie person. I've never had a selfie with any player or like management or whatever, because it doesn't really interest me. But
not
Mel,
Tom Jordan then.
No, not at all. But Mel was my absolute hero. Absolute hero. And to see him last night, obviously he walked the team out of Wembley. That was the first great escape with Steve Jones, Steve Robinson, Neil Young, Fletch, etc., like all the crew. That was so nice. But he knew how to organise a defence. Yeah. Ian Cox and Eddie Howe at the back. But so does the current Swansea manager. So in terms of Swansea, obviously Steve Cooper was their manager, and after 2 seasons in charge, he then became the manager of Nottingham Forest. So his replacement is Russell Martin, and he left MK Dons, which was his first job as manager after 2 seasons, and he went to take up the job at the Liberty Stadium. And in the close season, they've made a number of signings, but more importantly, they've lost 2 of their top scorers in Andre Ayew and a certain Jamal Lowe.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? Swans, they went one better than Cherries last season, obviously, because they got to the playoff final. They obviously lost out to Brentford. I honestly thought that we were going to get there. Yeah. If we had got there after that blistering start against Brentford in the second leg, I thought, you know what? Us versus the Swans, we've got a good record against them. I can't even remember the last time that they beat us, mate. I can't remember. We must be going back. I'll have to have a look, back through the records. But they finished last season in 4th position in the table. And this season they are in 11th place with 23 points. But of course, as Morgan's alluded to already, their recent form is very, very troubling, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely for us. Yeah, it's a really interesting thing as well, in that I think because of what's happened to us this last week and the unbeaten run finished, it kind of feels like, in a weird kind of way, part of the season is over, but we're still really early in the season. So seeing them in 11th doesn't necessarily mean that they won't make a burst for the top 6, especially after finishing 4th last season. It's not the table's not fully formed yet. We're not even got to Christmas. So that position is kind of a falsehood, isn't it? A bit like when we were riding high and getting squeaky draws in the Premier League. So, yeah, interesting, really interesting, Sam. I don't know. Morgan, is there anything else you want to add about how you're feeling about them coming at us today?
I think you just got to be, Jamie Patterson. He's a very, very good player. As I was saying earlier, I think the game that I watched him against Cardiff, I thought he was just magnificent in every single area of the pitch. I just think that he could create quite a few problems that might hurt AFC Bournemouth. Obviously, I'm hoping, as I said many a times, that we had our lull period now and we can get back onto it. I was the same as Sam, to be fair. I thought this was the game that we were going to slip up rather than Preston. We were saying that on Wednesday outside the ground, but it is what it is. But I reckon Jamie Patterson, if any name sprinter like that, it's the name that I'm concerned about. But you kind of just got to match him up, and hopefully he won't do anything too vital today to hurt AFC Bournemouth.
And there's no reason, is there, why? There's no reason why this can't be the start of another 15-match unbeaten run, or maybe more. Records are to be broken, gentlemen.
Mate, they are there to be broken. Last season against them, I think we won 3-0, didn't we?
Yeah.
Was it 3-0? Yeah, it was. The scores
Yeah.
were Philip Billing he had a spectacular volley after about 9 minutes, and then there was an own goal, and then Arnaud Danjuma made it 3. In our home league games against Swansea, Bournemouth have won 17, drawn 4, and lost 7. So it's looking good in all competitions. We've just shaded it. We've won 24, we've lost 23, we've drawn 13. So yeah, as Morgan says. There are a few players to watch. Another one is the new signing, the Dutch striker Joel Pirro, leading scorer with 9 league goals and 3 assists, and also, as he said, Jamie Patterson as well. I tell you what, I'm really looking forward to today's game. Not as much as maybe a certain John Spark, eh?
Hey, John, how you doing,
guys? How's it going?
Yeah, good. We're just talking a little bit about Swansea, and I'm sure you've got something that you'd like to say. They're a bit more expansive, aren't they? Potentially than Preston, and would that maybe work in our favour today, John?
Yeah, I think. Well, the thing is about Swansea is that we're playing a manager who we've already beaten 5-0 this season. So we have come up against his style. Now, that's not to say that we're going to come up against a goalkeeper that wants to give us the ball as much as the NBA Dons keeper wanted to in that game, which was quite incredible. But there's a big difference in ability. And the interesting thing was when he joined Swansea was the fact that we knew what kind of, or at least the Swansea board knew what kind of style of play they were going to be getting, but it was whether the team could actually implement it. And at the start, they struggled because it's Swansea have played that kind of way before, but not to that extreme. I don't think Russell Martin takes ball possession to an extreme in football, and if you don't have centre backs that are comfortable on the ball, you'll struggle. And I think they've kind of gotten used to the play now. And they'll improve more in the January transfer market, I would say, as well, when they bring in players that he would like. But I think, for us, it should be beneficial because we want to play against a team that are going to keep hold of the ball and try and counterattack and try and press high on the pitch and win the ball in their third. Preston were much better than we expected. And they were also incredibly deep lying. They didn't allow us any space in behind. And the conversations that I've seen, some of the conversations I've seen have been sort of about the missing of Jordan Zemura, and just to say, look, it's worrying for the team if we lose our left back that's played less than 20 games and the entire team shuts down. And I don't think that's true. I think that actually you need to give Preston more credit for how well they played at defending against us. Dominic Solanke was basically shut down by the centre-backs. Ryan Christie had his quietest game ever, and that's because he was kind of bullied by Earl on left wing-back for significantly during the first half. We kind of struggle on the left because Jamal Lowe is playing in a position he hasn't played for us yet, so he's not built that partnership with Phil Billing, and he doesn't have the overlapping runs that he would need from Chris Mepham, who I think did a good job, but just isn't an attacking left back. Yeah, there were circumstances on our end that meant that we didn't play well, but I think Preston actually had played a very good game, and they counted us, as better than any team has this season. So Swansea are going to be a completely different kettle of fish, and we'll have a better chance, I think, against them, but they kind of suit our play. They suit the way that we want oppositions to play against us. We want them to keep the ball. We want the opportunities to press high and take the ball off them in their third. But having said that, they're very good at what they do, and they could definitely pass around us and create chances. So, I'm feeling confident, but it's not going to be an easy game.
So, can I just press you on this then, John? Because this is something that's been going around in my head, and I can't quite decide. Did Preston turn up with a plan, and this is a plan that other teams are going to use, and it's the same kind of thing that we faced previously in facing teams that are kind of a bit more structured and rigid in terms of the way that they defend? Or is it because we changed personnel, we slipped up? Or which one do you think it is more of?
Which one is it more of? I think it's more about Preston's plan.
Okay.
I would say it probably was. But it's both have an equal impact on, have a similar impact on how ineffective we were during the game. Because one of the strengths and weaknesses of playing the back five is width. Because they got their first goal by having Bart Hughes and completely vacant on the right hand side to get that cross in. defensively, you should be able to overload them quicker because they don't have as many players out wide. But they defended that quite well. And what we probably would have wanted to do more quickly, and something that we do a lot, is switching wings to try and tire out the defense, force the ball to do the moving, and you can force the opposition to try and have to adapt to where you put the ball. But we didn't really do that very often, and we didn't do it enough. And I think they were set up very well to prevent that, to really put as much pressure as they could on us and force us to go backwards a lot. So yeah, I think Preston's game plan was very effective, but because we didn't have, the typical Zemura Anthony partnership on the left, we weren't as effective down that side, and Christie was shut down very well on the right. We either did ourselves or they did us along the front line. And yeah, there's more that could have been done. But there is a combination of, one, us not really being at it, and two, Preston being very at it. So it's difficult to analyze. I don't think Scott Parker will take too much from that in terms of our lack of attacking. I think he will have looked at it in terms of, like, if another team presses that deeply, if they don't they completely shut in, like, how are we going to break them down next time? That's the important thing they need to think about. But we were missing our left-hand side basically that game, so one of our biggest avenues was gone, and that is a struggle. But I don't think it'll be a problem in this game. Jamal Lowe, if he does play from the left again, you want him to have space in front of him to run into. That's his greatest weapon, is his pace. I don't think he's too much of a tricky winger. He wants space to run into. You want to give him the ball in front of him, and he never got that against Preston. He was always had a man in front of him, so that should be different against Swansea.
Very much so. Very much so. I'd be really interested to hear some predictions from everyone that's watching live now. There's a load of you watching live, so you know what? I think it's time for Morgan to go through them in a second. So yeah, if you're on chat now, if you're on the live chat, even if you don't usually live chat, why not? Should they just tap in their predictions? Tiggs, that's a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah, go for it. Come on, we want to see them. We're just waiting for it to fill up a little bit. We're kind of coming in fast. Look at that.
While they're there as well, Sam, they could always like the video. That really would be appreciated.
Very good, Morgan. Right then, Morgan, what's going on? What are people saying for today?
So Chris Hubble comes in straight away. AFC Bournemouth 2. 3-0 says AFC Bournemouth Sydney. Alfie, I think that's 3-1. Paul Kenwood saying no assess 3-0. I like that. Great start. Jamie Williams 2-0. AFC Bournemouth 2-1 says Cameron. I like that. 2-0 says David. John Smith says AFC Bournemouth home win 2-1. Paul Kenwood's going 2-1. I like that. Stephen Clark says I see a 1-1 today. 4-1 says Alan. Charlie says sorry, but 2-2. Tigsie's here. Oh, I didn't know he was here. 3-0 says Tigsy. Love it, Tigsy. 1-1 says Rob Welsh. 1-1. Scott says 3-0. Alan says 4-0. Duncan goes, it will be a smug 0-0. Ethan's here, 2-1. 3-1, I'm guessing that's to AFC Bournemouth, but whatever way round it is, I'll take it. Heather says 2-0. Liam goes 3-0. It says 3-2 Thriller. Crispy still on top of the cake with some yummy icing.
Christy? Yeah.
Robert goes 1-0. AFC Bournemouth 3-1. Obviously, yeah, the famous 3-1. Lee here, unfortunately, 3-1 to the Swans. Sad face.
Love it. Oh, you know what? In terms of my prediction, I don't know what I'm going for yet, but I'll tell you what, we need to know the team that's going to be playing, eh? So with the help of John Spark, who's with us now, we need to work out this side that's going to be playing today. Now, this is obviously very difficult because we don't know who's injured and who's not. But I'll tell you what, I've got a feeling that left flank is ultra important today. But I suppose Tiggs, should we go to you first to name the goalkeeper? That's the most easiest role ever to name.
Yeah. I mean, it's Travs, isn't it? It's interesting that we pulled back one of our youth goalkeepers back from loan as well.
Yeah, Billy Terrell.
Billy Tyrrell, and not seen Nyland on the bench. Dennis was on the bench last time, so I wonder if there's going to be a little bit of a switch around on goalkeepers.
I saw Billy Tyrrell in for Wimborne in a cup match, in an FA Cup match. I don't know at what stage it was, but bloody hell, he was amazing.
Yeah,
he
spoke very highly of.
He was really good, and it was a penalty shootout, and he just looked a machine. So yeah, I mean that, like if Travers, was to get injured, we would be in safe hands with Tyrrell. I'm telling you right now. Right hand side, Morgan.
It's going to be Jack Stacey. Adam Smith's still up, Sam. So yeah, it's going to be Jack Stacey. Yeah,
and at the back, John. This is where I sort of thought, yes, you don't want to break up that partnership, but I really feel as though we needed that, sort of attacking impetus, and I would have put Kelly there, but obviously he decided to keep Cahill and Kelly together. So I suppose it all depends on kind of like what left back we're playing, I suppose, is it?
Yeah, I mean, this literally could be 3 different players at left back. You have Lloyd Kelly could play left back. I do think that that Parker's already set out his stall and gone, I'm not going to break up that centre back partnership, so Kelly won't play left back. To whatever detriment people feel as though that was against Preston. Then there's apparently Leif Davis is available after getting an illness, having illness midweek and not being able to play. And then the other one is Brady is definitely an option at left back. And I honestly don't know. I personally would want to see Davis there because I feel as though a player that definitely has promise and, hasn't had the opportunity to play even in his own position. So when he's come on the pitch, playing at right wing away at, was that away at Birmingham?
It was, yeah.
He played right wing, came on at right wing back against Nottingham Forest. The only time he's played left back, I think, was in the 6-0 defeat against Norwich. I think that's the only game. So he hasn't played a league game in his left back position. He's like the Chris Mepham of that position. But given he's a lone player, he'll be going back in January if he doesn't play. However, I think Parker will play Brady.
Interesting. Yeah. You know what? I agree with that. So that means, Tiggs, that the defensive partnership will continue.
Yeah, I think it's got to continue. Kelly Cahill got to carry on. Interesting on the left back as well with Brady. Maybe Brady will get some minutes and Davis will get some minutes today. Neither of them have played, so that would kind of make sense. Although it wouldn't surprise me if Meppen's at left back. Just wouldn't surprise me, just because, why not? I do wonder if part of it is that he warrants a place in the team because of his performances in training, etc., his attitude, and that's why he was slotted in there. But we will see. We could even change formation, but we'll push on.
Yeah, very true, very true. And look, I feel as though Pearson's built for away games. It's so easy to say these things in hindsight, isn't it, Morgan? But sometimes Gav Kilkenny provides creativity, and I felt as though we perhaps didn't see enough of that on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. I think you're always going to have the debate between Alan, aka Ben Pearson, or Gav Kilkenny, and I think I personally think for this game I would bring Kilkenny back in. I thought he's much better at controlling the play in terms of in the middle of the park. I think Pearson more defensive, and I think sometimes if you play Pearson and Lerma, we're too defensive at times, and I think we can cause Swansea a load of problem in the final third today. But I don't want to get into it didn't work on Wednesday, so we've got to try something different today. We don't know. We're just speculating at this point until the team sheet comes in an hour before kickoff. But for me today, it's got to be Kilkenny.
So does that mean, John, if we did go with Kilkenny in that position, that the other two players are very easy to decide, or do you think that Marcondes has maybe given Parker a headache, or perhaps not?
Based on his performance, probably not. But to be fair, he was given 5 minutes against a team that is playing in a 1-3-1-5 or whatever the hell we were playing at the end of that game. Gary Cahill as the deepest centre back going up against a pacey striker. It wasn't the greatest solution, unfortunately. But I don't think it's going to be any different for the front for these two. I think I think Lerma has been for a while the first name on the team sheet. And the reason I say that is because when you see his positioning when we're in attack and versus when we're in defence, it's quite interesting just to see him instantly switch from playing in essentially we turn into a 4-4-2 kind of defensively. Lerma lines up right next to Pearson. And then as soon as we get the ball, bam, he's gone into that 8 role and he's immediately switched into I'm going to start attacking now. And it's funny because really the only other player that I think we've got that can do that switch between being a 6 and being an 8 is probably Lewis Cook. I think that's the only person that competes exactly for that position. Cook could still play where Kilkenny is, but as a player that can play both sides of the midfield game, I don't see Marcondes doing that. I don't see Pearson doing that. I don't see Kilkenny doing that. Lewis Cook seems the only player that could do that. So it'd be interesting to see if Cook comes in. I know Kirk has a sneaking suspicion that we'll be seeing Lewis Cook at some point today. Whether that from the start or from the bench. But certainly those two is what I would be putting right now.
And then wide areas takes. This is different. This is interesting because I thought that Lowe had a poor game on Wednesday, I've got to say, and we really did miss Anthony. But then was it the combination we missed more than the actual individual player? I don't know.
I like Anthony's press. I like it more than I think Lowe definitely did, but I suppose the problem is it's all about that partnership, isn't it? I would probably go with Anthony myself. He's done nothing wrong to not deserve a start, and then I've got Lowe coming off the bench as an impact. For me, that's just my personal preference. It was interesting to see actually in the game. We were talking about Billing Lerma there. At one point they got switched because I think maybe we needed more defence down the left-hand side, more defensive player down the left-hand side with Lerma filling in that little space because that space was getting exploited a little bit because Mepham was cutting inside so much on his other foot. But then Billing didn't then have the same partnership as, same link up as he does on the right-hand side. I don't know whether that we'll see that sort of change quite a lot through the season. I don't know, but be interesting to know.
Yeah, I think Anthony, you're probably right. On the left-hand side, I'd like to see him coming back in, and then that would mean that Christie would be on the right-hand side, I suppose, Morgan, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Christie did have a quiet game against Preston, but to be fair, not many players were on it from minute one. So yeah, I think Christie hasn't done too much on the season, and I think it would be unfair if he was shocked. And yeah, you should. Ryan Christie always gives 110%, and I like the way he presses the ball back. So yeah.
Yeah, and then I mean, a player that was probably a bit isolated, John, on Wednesday night, but Dom Solanke leading the line. What do you think went wrong for him, or was it just the result of the team not quite gelling on Wednesday?
I think the issue for Dom was probably because he only had one real opportunity to progress the ball with the team, and that was to come a little bit deeper. And what he's done a lot better this season, which I was frustrated at with him last season, he runs the channel better this season. He runs it more frequently. He makes the defense guess by deciding, am I going to come short? Am I going to go long? And you really don't know with a good 9.5. You don't know whether he's going to come short or not. And against Preston, they were so deep, he couldn't run behind. So all they had was for him to come short. And they had a very solid back five. And only one centre-back needs to come to follow Solanke. So you've got two others that you need to get past. And, Solanke was completely marked out of the game for long periods. So yeah, he needed more support. I think you're absolutely right. I think he needed more overlaps from Billing and Lerma. But at the same time, he needed to hold on to the ball a bit better when it came to his feet as well. So, he didn't have the greatest game, but that should hopefully change today. And I think the whole team should hopefully have a fire at the backsides after losing their unbeaten record and decide they're going to come back with all guns blazing against Swansea.
So what's your prediction then to end the show then, John? What's it going to be?
Recently, I've been very confident about Bournemouth. I've been predicting a lot of Bournemouth clean sheets recently. But today, I don't think I will be going with a clean sheet. I think Swansea have been playing well enough, and they've got enough about them to definitely score at least one goal. But I'm going to go 2-1 to Bournemouth.
Take that.
Confident.
Take that. Love it. John, thanks very much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Cheers. Take care. See you later. John Spark there. I'll tell you what, I've really enjoyed watching and taking part today, Tiggs.
Oh, it's lovely to have you here, Sam, bleary-eyed and bushy-tailed. You got a busy day planned today, Sam? Obviously, you got the game.
Well, you know what? I'm going to be donning my shoes today, mate. I'm going to be putting on my shirt. I'm in hospitality.
Oh,
yeah,
baby.
Yeah, you know what? So it's a different type of job, different type of job, I suppose, with the camera today, because I'll be doing some filming in the echelons of the prawn sandwich brigade. But it should be quite nice today. Looking forward to it, and just capturing a very different view. And then for the next match, I'm in the Ted McDougall as well. So,
nice.
Just getting a different view of matches, because, like I said on the vlog, every home match is pretty much the same formula. So why not go into different stands and try to mix it up? But hospitality, it's for Tom Jordan's birthday, and look, we all clubbed together for this.
Yeah.
And whilst his birthday was, relatively recently, this is where it is all coming to fruition. He's got his shirt from Jeff Lerma and all that kind of stuff, and now he's experiencing the delights of hospitality. So yeah, should be good. Should be good.
Excellent. And Morgan, you in your usual place?
Yeah, I'll be cheering on the boys from the South Stand. So yeah, no, it's going to be a blast, I'm sure.
Fantastic. Well, I think that's probably it then, Sam. Unless you wanted to add anything else.
All I want to say is thanks so much to everyone that is getting behind the channel in terms of the sponsorship as well. And look, I haven't had time to update the graphic. However, there has been a brand new subscriber to the channel as well, and that is Chris Edwards. Oh, Chris Edwards. You are a genius. I'm not sure if you were on it before, but he's basically changed his amount to an increased monthly amount. So you are a legend. Also, Dan Egerton as well is now a supporter. However, haven't had chance to get your names on the board yet. Give me time. I will make sure that happens. But honestly, thank you so much to everyone that has got involved with supporting us. And you can do it in a number of ways. Of course, the YouTube live chat that you're on now, you can leave a super chat. But if you want to become a member of the channel, basically, then you can become a legend and be on the legend wall. And we'll also add you to our exclusive chat group as well, where every so often we post some content. You talk about the Cherries and talk about back of the net. And you know what? Some of the comments we've had about back of the net have been very interesting, and you can leave your anonymous feedback too by going to afcbpodcast.com/feedback. But Tiggs, you started the show, so I feel as though it's probably right that you end it, mate.
Oh, thank you, buddy. And if you do want to give us any feedback about the game today, we will be in the usual place outside the bar there, and Sam will be with his iPhone, or I'll probably be holding it, or Lucy will. And we'd love to hear what you want to say. So that'll be exciting for us. Okay, well, fingers crossed for today. Start of the new unbeaten run. Up the Cherries. Oh, wait a minute. I should have said, do you know what? That's not fair. See you, Sam.
Oh, goodbye.
See you, Morgan.
See you later.
Up the Cherries.